In conclusion to the Saint Martin Symphony Orchestra, Saint Martin in conclusion to the Academy of Saint Martin de Porres in the Field Symphony Orchestra and the Academy of Saint Martin de Porres in the Field Philharmonic, and in conclusion to the Saint Martin de Porres in the Fields Symphony Orchestras and Philharmonics, and also in conclusion to the Saint Martin de Porres in the Fields Symphony Philharmonic Orchestras and Symphony Orchestras, Saint Martin de Porres Symphony Orchestras, the Academy of Saint Martin in the Fields Symphony Orchestras, the Academy of Saint Martin de Porres in the Fields Philharmonic Symphony Orchestras, so that wherever there is no symphony orchestra, I mean anywhere in the world, not just Canada, Windsor, Ontario, I'd like to be kind of a spokesman for symphony orchestras, to build symphony orchestras, and I figure the perfect name for them symphony orchestras is like the Academy of Saint Martin de Porres in the Fields Symphony Orchestras and Philharmonic Orchestras. And the reason I chose Saint Martin de Porres in the Fields, I remember hearing about the Academy of Saint Martin in the Fields and their conductor, Sir Neville Mariner. So I follow the symphonies. And I used to go to a church on Le Belle Street in South Windsor. It's now St. Ignatius Orthodox Church, like Lebanese Orthodox Church, something like they're Lebanese or Egyptian, Middle Eastern. And so it's now St. Ignatius Orthodox, like Middle Eastern or Egyptian Orthodox Church. But they used to be my church, St. Martin de Porres Roman Catholic Church on Le Belle Street in South Windsor. And I remember it was 1808 Le Belle Street in South Windsor, 1808 Le Belle Street. So there, the old St. Martin de Porres Church. It was a Roman Catholic church, and I went to that church because I am Roman Catholic. And so I a lot of the times, during some of the masses, I couldn't help but daydream a little bit. In some of the masses, I'd have my own little sketchbook that while the parish priest was giving that lecture, was Father Posson at that time, Father Laurel T. Posson, and they sketched down the idea of a St. Martin de Porres in the Fields Symphony Orchestra. And so I'd like to be the spokesman for symphony orchestras built wherever there is no symphony orchestra, and I think it would be great to put symphony orchestras in places not just in Windsor or Ontario in Canada, but all over the world, every place in the world, all over the world where there are no symphony orchestras, and I figure they could be like for example, I told you about Leamington, but there's places that are so pretty, so beautiful. I don't know if you've I never been to it, none but myself. But I seen Western none, but I seen the Brock River canyons in the winter when they was covered in snow, and they are the most beautiful sight I ever seen. And I'm thinking in my mind, wouldn't it be good if they had a symphony orchestra there? They might not have a symphony orchestra there. Wouldn't it be great if they did have a symphony orchestra there? And so I'm thinking that not just Windsor or Ontario or anywhere in Canada, but anywhere in the world. I mean, any place in the world, and every place in the world, or just wherever they could be put a symphony orchestra, because I follow classical music. I mean, that's a very good culture. It's a very good culture, and that's my favorite kind of music. Symphony, classical music, philharmonic orchestra music, my favorite music, Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, Schubert, all of the classical symphonic composers, and wherever in the world there's no symphony orchestras, my suggestion would be wherever there's no symphony orchestras, if they could be put there, put some symphony orchestras there. So I like to be known as a conservative minister of symphony orchestras for Canada. But why just limit myself to Canada? I mean, why not the whole entire world? Wherever you can put the symphony orchestra in that very beautiful part of the world, find the most beautiful part of that country or city or town somewhere in the world, because it wouldn't make sense to put it in an ugly or a tacky looking, but you look for the most idealistic place. Put a symphony orchestra there. And like Leamington, find the most beautiful place in Leamington. Put the symphony orchestra there, a philharmonic orchestra, and then a good name for it that I choose personally, the Academy of St. Martin de Porres in the Fields Symphony Orchestra, or the Academy of St. Martin de Porres in the Fields Philharmonic Orchestra, or the Academy of St. Martin de Porres in the Fields Symphony and Philharmonic Orchestra, or vice versa. Like the Academy of St. Martin de Porres in the Fields Philharmonic and Symphony Orchestra. So I'd like to be known as a conservative minister. The conservative, like Stephen Harper, had conservative minister of the energy. Stephen Harper had conservative minister of the environment. And I would like to be Stephen Harper's conservative minister in charge of suggesting symphony orchestra spokesmen for symphony orchestras, not just in Canada, but why limited to Canada? So the whole entire world where there's no symphony, and where I feel could be idealistic. So I'd like to be a spokesman for symphony orchestras. Build them, they're great things, I like them. Not everyone loves classical music and stuff, but you know something? I do. I love classical music. My favorite music, classical symphony. I like Bela Bartok's Concerto for Orchestra. I like Carl Nielsen's Rhapsodic Overture, Journey to the Faroe Islands. So, I suggest that I'm a spokesman, conservative spokesman for symphony orchestras. Leamington, I don't know, I think Leamington might not have a symphony. Amherstburg in Ontario might not have a symphony. Kingsville, Harrow, Wheatley, Comber. Different places in Ontario, different places in Canada, different places throughout the known world may not have a symphony orchestra, but you know something? I like to suggest that wherever there's not a symphony orchestra, like Leamington, if there's not a symphony orchestra, then please build one. So I'm a conservative spokesman for symphony orchestras. Conservative spokesman for conservative minister of classical symphony music, symphony orchestras, philharmonics, that type of thing. And I would be going on the conservative side. I'd become a conservative minister. Michael Patrick Jarmowski Jr., Stephen Harper's minister, conservative minister of symphony orchestra, in charge of symphony spokesman for symphony orchestras.